Doing leads to deeper knowledge. Number 129. Welcome back. Today, we'll be looking at the Gospel of John to see what advice Jesus gives to acquire deeper knowledge of God. So let's get started. John 7 verses 11 to 24. So the Jews were looking for him at the feast and asking, "Where is he?" Many in the crowds were whispering about him. Some said, "He is a good man," but others replied, "No, he deceives the people." Yet no one would speak publicly about him for fear of the Jews. About halfway through the feast, Jesus went up to the temple courts and began to teach. The Jews were amazed and asked, "How did this man attain such learning without having studied?" "My teaching is not my own," Jesus replied. "It comes from him who sent me. If anyone desires to do his will, he will know whether my teaching is from God or whether I speak on my own. He who speaks on his own authority seeks his own glory, but he who seeks the glory of the one who sent him is a man of truth. In him there is no falsehood. Has not Moses given you the law? Yet not one of you keeps it. Why are you trying to kill me?" "You have a demon," the crowd replied. "Who is trying to kill you?" Jesus answered them, "I did one miracle, and you are all amazed. But because Moses gave you circumcision, you circumcise a boy on the Sabbath, not that it is from Moses, but from the patriarchs. If a boy can be circumcised on the Sabbath, so that the law of Moses will not be broken, why are you angry with me for making the whole man well on the Sabbath? Stop judging by outward appearances and start judging justly." My thoughts. I love this little kernel of wisdom tucked deep into this passage. If anyone desires to do his will, he will know whether my teaching is from God or whether I speak on my own. John 7 verse 17. Let me paraphrase what I think Jesus is saying here. If you do, you will know. If you do the Father's will, experience his person through obedience, you will see the alignment between him and his Son. Now, usually we think of the formula in just the opposite. If you know, then you can do. Both formulas are very true and appropriate. But why is Jesus emphasizing the first? I think it's because many of the Jews had a lot of knowledge, but not the kind of knowledge that is validated by experience. For many of them, it was just lofty theory without application. And knowledge without application leads to hypocrisy. If we profess to know something and don't do it, our character lacks integrity. And when our character lacks integrity, in keeping with our knowledge, we are known as hypocrites. For example, I can study information on how to ride a bike and then turn around and tell everyone how to ride a bike. But even if I have exact information and never ride one myself, do I really know how to ride a bike? And even worse, if I teach everyone in such a way as to give the impression I've ridden a bike and haven't, my hypocrisy is evident. I have robbed myself of the true knowledge of riding a bike and misled those I have taught. Another example is when I say, I know God loves lost people, and yet do not obey his command to share the gospel. There is a disconnect between my knowledge and my obedience. But when I share the gospel, I learn more deeply how much God loves lost people. Obedience brings a deeper understanding of the knowledge that prompted me to obey in the first place. Jesus was not only putting his finger on the people's biggest problem, lots of knowledge, very little application in accordance with that knowledge, but he was also saying something about himself. He had obeyed the Father perfectly and knew the Father. No one did this better than Jesus. He who seeks the glory of the one who sent him is a man of truth. In him there is no falsehood. John 7:18b. As disciple makers, we need to take this admonition to heart. If we really want to be a disciple of Jesus and make true disciples of Jesus, we have to know by doing, know by obeying. This will not only help us go deeper in our relationship with him, we will have the kind of influence in others to help them go deep as well. My story. When I joined the Army, I learned how to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. I became a paratrooper by going through 3 weeks of arduous training and 5 actual parachute drops. I could tell my high school buddies back home that I knew something about hitting the silk. Actually, modern parachutes are made of nylon. Details, but did I really know after 5 mislaid jumps? I would spend half my career in the Army jumping out of planes, helicopters, and even graduating from Jump Master School and earning my master parachutist wings. I stopped counting after 100 jumps. Once the Air Force couldn't fly, so they loaded us on trucks, drove down the middle of the drop zone, and pushed us out one by one to simulate the drop. Now, what if, after that one experience of jumping out of a truck on a drop zone, I told you I was a paratrooper? Redonkulous, you say? I would certainly agree with you, and you would have to have a long talk with me about real knowledge and integrity. Now, all you Halo guys with thousands of jumps, cut me some slack, would you? As disciple makers, we need to be the real deal. We are doing what we know and knowing more by what we do. Our action plan. Now it's time for application. Here's some ideas. Do a personal inventory. Is there anything you teach others to do that you are not doing yourself? Is that a problem with truly knowing what you're teaching? Make a plan to start doing what you're teaching others to do. Our Western culture overemphasizes the acquisition of knowledge apart from application. Our teaching methods are proof positive of this problem. And yet our master teaches us that true knowledge comes from both gathering data and putting it to good use in his kingdom. Let's take him up on his offer to go deeper with him.